If I can't wear my cat t-shirt on my birthday, when can I? Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, the 28th of August, if you're watching this on the day it goes up, it's my birthday, which is very, very exciting. I love birthdays. It doesn't have to be mine, any birthday will do. It's just something I get really excited about, and I know that there are like plenty of people who don't like celebrating their birthday or aren't bothered about celebrating their birthday, but for me it is a time to celebrate because you've had another trip around the sun, you've got a bit older, hopefully a bit wiser, learned some stuff, plus birthdays are just inherently exciting because it usually means getting together with the people you love, maybe having some nice food, maybe having the odd present, all of that good stuff just makes me really excited for my birthday. Now, I'm obviously filming this in advance. It's currently the start of August, and I'm not actually sure what I'll be doing on my actual birthday. If you're following me on Twitter and Instagram, I'm sure I will be updating there. But I've got a few like small family celebrations in the run-up, but I'm not entirely sure what my husband's got planned for the actual day, so I guess we will find out. But I was looking actually for something else, and I came across the birthday book tag, which is not to be confused with the Booktube birthday tag, which I'll be doing in November when my channel turns 4, which is outrageous. I saw this on Coffee, Cocktails and Books' channel, and I will link their video in the description. They do have a link for the original tag, but when I click it, it doesn't go anywhere, so I don't know who the original creator was. So I will link what I can find in the description along with questions. And yeah, it's only got 7 questions, and I thought it'd be a fun little video to put up on my birthday. Also, before we get into it, just a little reminder. I've had a few people ask me already. My wish list is closed for the time being. I have instead opened up a Just Giving page. If you would like to celebrate your birthday, my birthday, with me, my birthday, not yours, you don't have to. There is absolutely no pressure to, but if you want to, I've opened up a Just Giving page, and I would love it if you would just donate a couple of pounds there. Any money that we raise will be going to Mind at the kind of about a week after this video goes up. I think you've got about a week after my birthday to donate, so the link for that will be in the description. If you can, if you want to, please do. If you can't or you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. As I said, there is no pressure. Right, on with the questions. Question 1, birthday cake. A book with a plot that seems cliche, but you adore it anyway. I decided to go with Wonderland by Juno Dawson for this because this is very much like spoilt brat has an experience, becomes a better person, like that kind of cliche. We're following Alice, as you might get from the title, whose friend Bunny has disappeared. And she's basically trying to find Bunny. That's the kind of the basic setup of the book. And it says, because now Alice has secrets of her own, and because Alice has secrets of her own, and now she has a new enemy who wants her head. And I just love this. This is a very really fun, kind of slick Alice in Wonderland retelling. It says on the back, not suitable for younger readers, which I would definitely agree with. This is definitely the top end of YA, possibly into new adult. But it kind of takes those cliches and the kind of stories that we already know and gives them a fresh take and writes it in a way that really only Juno Dawson can do. So yes, that is my answer for the first one. Question 2, party guest, your most anticipated book release for this year. So those of you that watch my mid-year freak out tag, which I'll link in the description, will know that I was banging on about how excited I was for the new Nevermore book to come out, which is Silverborn, and lots of lovely kind people commented on the video and were like, Victoria, it's been pushed back to next year, which was devastating. I don't know how I missed that news. I think it's because I've got it pre-ordered via Amazon, and the date on there is still October of this year, so I just had not twigged that it had been pushed back. So that is pretty much the only book that I was excited for to come out this year. So instead, I've had a look at my TBR shelf and I picked the 2022 release that I am most excited to get to, and that is Electra by Jennifer Saint. Look how beautiful this cover is. I mean, why have I not picked this up yet? She wrote Ariadne, which I read, I think, towards the end of last year, and I got about 100 pages in, and then I went straight on and pre-ordered her next book, which was Electra. I don't know anything about this at all, other than the fact that it's stunning and that I adored Ariadne. But of the books that came out this year that are still on my TBR shelf, this is the one I'm most excited for. It's going to be another Greek retelling. Let's just show you the end pages. Oof, beautiful. It's going to be a Greek retelling from a female perspective because that is what Jennifer Saint writes, and I'm excited for it. I might just hold this here for another minute because it's so pretty. Okay, Question 3, birthday presents, a book that surprised you with how much you loved it. Of recent reads that have surprised me, The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna has really surprised me. This has got beautiful sprayed edges and was gifted to me by the lovely Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe. She was also the reason it was on my wish list in the first place, because I think she recommended it. This I was really surprised by. I went into this with very low expectations and very much was like, just read 50 pages, get it started, and then you can go and pick something else up. And then it was 2 hours later and I was halfway through and I didn't want to put it down. So this is set in a world where it says on the back, are we girls, are we demons, are we going to die, or are we going to survive? And this is YA fantasy, which is not my genre, like, at all. We're following a girl called something. And oh my goodness, why am I so bad at this? I can't remember what her name is. Decca, that was it. And she lives in a world where girls are bled when they are 16, and if you have red blood then you are pure, and if you have gold blood then you are a demon, and Decca's blood is gold, and it sets her on this path. She's taken by the authorities and put into an army for the emperor of girls just like her. And this book looks at trauma really well and really in a lot of detail. And there is a content warning at the start, which we love to see. It says, include scenes of violence, including some graphic violence, which readers may find distressing. And what I really enjoyed about this, or really liked and appreciated about this, was Decca goes through a massive trauma at the beginning of the book. And it's not just then swept aside. It comes up several times. She's reminded of things, she's triggered by things, and I loved the way that was dealt with. There's also a really intriguing plot to this. I wanted to know more. I really enjoyed the magic that comes through in this and the kind of world building and setup that was done around that. And I'm really excited to pick up the second book. I think it's going to be a trilogy. The second book is also beautiful. I love this cover. And yeah, I was really surprised. This turned out to be a 4-star read, which I would not have predicted. Okay, question 4, the Happy Birthday Song. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing it. A book that certainly deserved all the hype it got. Okay, so this is quite a change in tone from the other books. This is non-fiction. It was a book that was everywhere in 2020, and I think I read it towards the end of that year or at some point last year, I can't remember. But it definitely deserved the hype that it got, and that is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. Chanel Miller was sexually assaulted by Brock Turner, and this is her account of what happened to her and the kind of experience of going through the American justice system. This is definitely a book that I would highly recommend, and I think everybody should read to get an understanding of what Chanel went through first of all, but also what it is like to be a victim of sexual assault, particularly in America. However, I would say only pick this up if you are in a really good headspace, because this is very, very tough reading. It's easy to read in that Chanel Miller writes stunningly. She's an absolutely beautiful writer, but what she's writing about is harrowing. And I would just be careful to pick this up. But it was definitely one of those books that was hyped and deserved every single second of that hype because it was stunning. Okay, question 5, Happy Music, a book with some very beautiful and truly memorable quotes. Now, I have to confess, I'm terrible at remembering quotes. So I was sitting in front of my bookshelf and I was like, I don't know. I can't remember any quotes from any books. And then I saw this book and I was like, I'm going to go with this because it's got some of the most beautiful writing that I can remember. And if you're looking for a book that is really evocative, like gives that really strong sense of place and time, I would really recommend not just this book, but this author, because I've read another one of hers and that was the same. And that's The Ophelia Girls by Jane Healey. I had an arc of this last year. Look at this. This is the beautiful finished copy. It's also signed. It's a signed first edition that I got from Toppings in Bath. Yeah. And I loved it so much that I went and bought myself a copy. And this is set, it's got a dual timeline, so we're in the summer of 1973 and also in the summer of 1997, and both places we are following Ruth. So in 73 we're following Ruth as a teenager during a really hot summer where there was a drought and a heat wave, and it's really evocative of that like intense summer heat. And her and her friends became obsessed with Ophelia and the image of Ophelia drowning, and they would kind of go out onto the water and recreate that painting and that image. And then we skip forward to 1997 and Ruth is returning to her childhood home where they would recreate this Ophelia painting with her own teenage daughter. And it's very much about finding yourself, it's about sexual awakenings, it's about friendship, it's about heartbreak, it's about family, it's about motherhood. And yeah, when I was thinking about kind of memorable quotes and beautiful writing, this sprang to mind. So that is my pick for this. Right, question 6, we're almost there already. A book, getting older. A book that you read a long time ago, but you think you would appreciate more if you read as a more mature reader. This was really interesting because for me as a reader, my bookshelves change all the time and books kind of come in and out. I don't tend to keep hold of books if I'm not going to reread them, so I couldn't really find anything for this prompt. And then I saw this book and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with this because I read it a few years ago, then I reread it this year, and I think I picked up a lot more this time round because this is literary fiction and I'm not much more of a literary fiction reader now than I was a few years ago. And that book is His Bloody Project by Graham McCrae Burnett. And this is a weird one. I would recommend this. I'm not sure it would be for everybody, but we are following Graham, no, that's the author. We're following Roderick McCrae, and it's based on a real life case of a brutal triple murder in a remote community in the Scottish Highlands, and it's the arrest of Roderick. And it's basically looking at how he got to that point, and it's him telling the story. And it's beautiful and it's brutal and it's fascinating, and I definitely enjoyed it a lot more the first time round. And as you can see, it was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2016. So yeah, this is definitely one that I got a lot more from second time round as an older reader. And then question 7, Sweet Birthday Memories, a book that kept you incredibly happy during a sad or demanding period of your life. So I don't think it will surprise anyone that I'm going to talk about 2020, which was probably one of the most demanding periods of all of our lives. It was incredibly tough, and I read a series which I'm very excited to continue, and it definitely kept me going, and that was Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I didn't discover, these books have been talked about for years, but I finally picked up the first one during one of the lockdowns and was just swept away. It was absolutely perfect. It was exactly what I needed. We are following Morrigan Crow. She is a so-called cursed child who is scheduled to die on her 11th birthday, and instead of dying, she is swept away by Jupiter north to Nevermore, which is this kind of magical community, and she has to go through trials in order to keep her place there. And obviously then the other books go on, got them here and here, and then the fourth one, Silver One, is coming out next October, apparently, not this October. And these books were just absolutely perfect. I think for me, middle grade is always the place I go when I'm feeling stressed or sad or down or stuff's difficult, and this just really perfectly slotted in to my reading diet. So yeah, definitely Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. That's it, that's the tag. It's nice and short. I've talked about quite a decent variety of books, I think. We've got a middle grade, 2 literary fiction, a non-fiction, a YA fantasy, who knew, Greek retelling, and then a contemporary YA. So, you know, there's a decent mix in there. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you got to this point, leave me the birthday cake emoji because it's my actual birthday on the day that you're watching this, if you watch it when it goes up. Please subscribe if you'd like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.